This will be for the con assignment, sample and population standard deviation. Okay, so I just want to point out before we get started, we want to make a distinction between a sample and a population. Okay, so when we use population, that is when it is like the entire population, the entire sample. Okay, so it's like the whole thing. And a sample would be just a portion of that. All right, so you'll see keywords in the write-up in order to determine if it's a population or sample. All right, so it says you have found the following ages and years of all 4 bears at your local zoo. Okay, because it says all 4 bears, that's going to be a population. All right, and here are the ages right here. They want us to find the average age, which is the same as the mean, and the standard deviation, and round to the nearest tenth. That's 1 decimal. Okay, so I'm going to use Google Sheets. Okay, you can either type these numbers or copy and paste. So I'm going to left click, highlight the numbers, and hit Control-C. And now I'm going to go to Google Sheets. Okay, I'm in Google Sheets now. I'm going to click inside a cell, and I'm going to hit Control-V. All right, and I have this drop-down menu here, and I'm going to click on Split Text to Columns, so it puts one value in each cell. Okay. Alternatively, if you click on Data and the option on the bottom, Split Text to Columns, it does the same thing. Okay, so I have 4 numbers here. So I'm going to click on an empty cell, and I'm going to type equals AV, and you want to pick the second one down that says average. Okay, click on that, and it wants to know which cells you're taking the average of. So I left click here, hold it down, and I highlight, I drag it to the right, highlight those 4, let go, and press enter. Okay, and that's my average or mean right there. All right, now if it doesn't give you the right number of decimals, you can just click these buttons right here to make more or less decimals. But they said nearest tenth, so I only want 1 decimal. Okay, and now, remember that it said all bears in the problem, okay? So we want to find the standard deviation for the population. Okay, so again, I'm going to click in an empty cell, hit equals, and I'm going to type STD. All right, now we have the one, we want the one for the whole population. So I'm going to pick STDEV.P. Okay, see it says standard deviation of an entire population. So click on that one. And again, highlight the 4 numbers. Left click, hold it down, and highlight the 4 numbers. Okay, don't highlight the average as well, just the 4 numbers we started with. Let go and press enter. Okay, now that's too many decimals. So I'm just going to click this button right here to decrease decimal places. Just click it one at a time until you get 1 decimal. Okay, and that's my standard deviation. And that's for the population. All right, so we're looking at 13.5 and 14.7. All right, so I'm going to do 13.5 and 14.7. Hopefully that's correct. Okay, very good. All right, so you have found the following ages and years of 4 bears. Those bears were randomly selected from the 22 bears at your local zoo. All right, so we only selected 4 bears, okay? They were randomly selected out of 22. So it's not the entire population of bears, okay? this is going to be a sample. So it's the same process, but we want to find the standard deviation of the sample. All right, let's see. So again, they want the average age, the standard deviation, and round to the nearest tenth. All right, so again, I'm going to left click here, hold it down and highlight the numbers and hit Control C. Okay, now I'm in Google Sheets once again, and I'm just going to hit Control V. All right, and split text to columns once again. If you don't have this drop-down menu, then just click Data. Here's split text to columns. All right, it's the same numbers. So I'll go through the process again anyhow, but the average should definitely be the same. All right, so I'm going to hit equals, type AV for average, click the second one down, okay, numerical average, and then it wants to know what you're taking the average of. Left click, hold it down, highlight the 4 numbers, let go, and hit enter. Okay, so of course the average is the same because average doesn't change for population or sample. Okay, so it's the same thing. Now for standard deviation, it's going to be different, okay, because this time we have a sample. So have it click in an empty cell, hit equals, type STD, okay, and this time you want the one with the dot S, okay, because that is for the sample. The dot P was population, but dot S is for the sample. So click on that one. And it wants to know what you're taking the standard deviation of. Left click, hold it down, highlight the 4 cells, not the average, just the original 4 numbers, and let go and hit enter. All right, too many decimals here. So click in this box and see this number up here to decrease, this symbol up here to decrease decimal places. Just keep clicking it until you get 1 decimal place. Okay, that is 17.0, and that is the standard deviation of the sample. So we have 13.5 and 17 flat. All right, so 13.5 and 17.0.